Let's just go through today's agenda. We're going to basically do the introduction to natural dog whispering, understand the canine species. Then we'll have a quick break. And then we'll go through the diet and nutrition, and then we'll have lunch. And then we're going to go through bioresonance therapy. I want to teach you all about that because it's a fantastic new therapy out. Well, it's not even new, but a lot of people haven't heard of it. So I want to teach you about that, how that can help. Then we'll have another refreshment break. And then we're going to go through vaccines, pest control and microchipping at the end. All right. Okay, let's get started. So an introduction into the world of natural dog whispering. We're going to look at these four subjects. So there's me with Maddie the Wolf that you're going to meet on Friday. She just came up to me. I was literally taking a picture of her. She came right up to me and I was like, ooh, I just loved it. Right, when we take a dog into our homes, we are actually inviting the closest descendant to the wolf into our homes, and that comes with huge responsibility. Our dogs, even though they've been domesticated, are still canines. All right, they're part of the canine species. There's actually 36 different canine species, including wolves, jackals, foxes, wild dogs. The dog is actually one of the canine species, all right, but there's over 400 different breeds of the dog. So what we've got to remember is they are part of the canine family, and yet where we're really going wrong in the world is we're seeing so many people treat them like humans or trying to humanize them. And they become part of our family, and they're a very important part of our family, but this really is where many of these health and behavioural problems stem from. If you think about commercial pet food, we're going to be going into diet and nutrition later. Commercial pet food's been around for 120 years. Our domesticated canines have been around for at least 15,000. So what were we feeding them before this dried stuff, this stuff in a tin came out? You know, and how humanised have we made them by processing and cooking their food? And how much damage has that done to our dogs? We're only just seeing now the consequences of following this system that the pet industry have brought out. The pet industry basically starts with the pet food. All right, the pet food manufacturers then work with the veterinary associations, and the veterinary associations then work with the pharmaceutical companies. Pharmaceutical companies then work with the insurance companies, and all four are making billions of pounds out of making our animals sick. All right, and it all starts with this pet food. We're going to go into that in more detail later. But what we've got to understand, as I say, we're going to go into understanding why I do this, why I'm here teaching you guys, why I've been doing this for 20 years, is I've been working in the rescue. I worked in the rescue system for 5 years, and I've worked with some of the most traumatised animals that you'd ever come across. I met a dog who'd been thrown out of a high-rise story flat. This is America, when I worked in America. Had acid poured all over their body. One had a face half blown off with a shotgun. I mean, these animals were incredible. But, you know, for me, I just working in that system, I would see a dog come in. It would go out and be rehomed. Most of the time it'd be mismatched. You know, I'd see an aggressive dog go and join a family with a little boy. 5 days later, that dog would come back. Now, when a dog goes out of the system, another one comes straight in. I mean, they are overrun and overstretched. So when this dog comes back in, and you've got other dogs coming back to the rescue centres, it suddenly puts an enormous amount of strain on them, on their resources. And the whole system is been run a certain way for the last 50 to 100 years, but we can make improvements on it, all right? And I think really what the dogs have come into our life to teach us is to actually go back to nature more. You know, we've seen there's advertising, there's media, there's, You can get tiaras for your dogs now, you can get pushchairs for your dogs, you can get handbags for your dogs. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, where's the days where the dogs are running around off the land and being a dog? You're all probably old enough to remember being a child and seeing dogs running around on the street, and you just let them out and they'd have a wander and come back. Now there's still countries out there that do that, but we've just become very, got to put the dog on the lead, got to feed it this, and it's like almost everyone's brainwashed into the same system. But as I say, we're seeing the consequences of that system now. We're seeing dogs dying at half their age span. The vet will say to you, oh, he's 11, 12, he's reached a good age. Yeah. And we've all been conditioned now that dogs should only live to 11 or 12. The oldest living dog, who was a raw-fed dog, was 32. He's in the Guinness Book of Records. He was an Australian sheepdog. But raw-fed dogs, if they're fed raw from puppies and their line, their generation's been raw-fed as well, are likely to live into their 20s. So we're actually halving their lifespan by following this system that they've created. And what are dogs dying of? Organ failure, cancer. They're dying a horrible, slow death. Yeah, it's quite evil, really. And, you know, people are putting this pet food in their bowl every day, all over that period of time, that poisonous pet food in their bowl every day. And then wonder why at 8 years old they've got arthritis, they've got skin problems, they've got cancer, they've got organ failure. And what do? We take them to the vets and the pharmaceutical companies, or we'll sell you some drugs. I've had clients who've spent up to £20,000 on their dog over 5 years at the vets, and this dog's, we're going to see a case study today, who's just, she was so poisoned, so just her system was so intoxicated. All of it could have been prevented if we just got the diet right from the start. So it's really, really important that we, you know, we provide for their needs correctly. We may feel we're providing for their needs. We give them a bed, we give them a bowl of food, we give them loads of love, and we're like, what else do you need? Yeah. But are you really providing for their needs? If they're a carnivore animal and you're providing them a grain-cooked diet full of preservatives and stuff, that's not really providing for their needs correctly or in the best possible way. We've all been there. I've been there, fed my dog that stuff, right? We've all been there, pouring that stuff, following the system, following the advertising, following what the vets have said. But there's a better way. And our dogs just really, really thrive when we put them back onto their species appropriate diet. If you think of a koala bear, what is a koala bear? What's its species appropriate diet? What would we feed a koala bear?
Leaves and grains.
Eucalyptus leaves. What would happen if we fed a koala bear pedigree chum for all of its life? Right? Same thing. Right, got to provide them their species appropriate diet. When we do, everything goes back into balance. Everything. Now, the domesticated dog has been bred so far away, or they're trying to breed it away from the wolf. But if we have a look, something like the husky or the German shepherd still carries around 15 of the same characteristics as the wolf. Something like a Labrador has about, they reckon, 4 or 5 of the same characteristics as the wolf. All right, something like a greyhound, about 8 or 9 of the same as the wolf. I mean, they're very hunting orientated dogs. And obviously different breeds have different purposes. You know, the little Jack Russells of the world have just been born to kill, hunt and kill, and I've got to kill something, you know. Same with Annie, she's just nose to the ground. She's got this long nose. She's a hound. She's a sniffer dog. She's, you know, she just properly sniffed everything today, sniffed you lot. So yes, you know, and then when we're getting these crossbreeds, these cockapoos and these sprockers and these, you know, labradoodles, and we never ever blame anything on the breed though, because the breed really is what the outfit is. It's what they're wearing almost. Inside, it's still a dog, it's still a canine, whatever the breed is. All right, even if you've got a little Chihuahua, he still needs his species appropriate diet. Yeah, just as much as a husky or an Alsatian does. So as I say, the commercial pet industry is trying to humanise our pets, and this is where it's going wrong. Now, I don't want to take the fun out of owning a dog, you know, and if you want to buy a little scarf or a little jumper or, you know, put some sunglasses and a hat on and take a picture, I mean, it's great fun, right? But what I'm really trying to do here is just to bring you back to nature, bring you back to Mother Nature, because when you do that with your dog and put ourselves back in nature, I mean, they've got so much to teach us, because when you start looking at your dog's diet, you start looking at yours and going, oh my God, what the hell am I eating? You know, and it's been the same for all my clients. They'll help their dog change their diet, and then they'll go, oh my God, you know, I need to be doing this as well. So our dogs are here to help us. And this is the other thing. Humans, when their dog's got a problem, the human will focus everything on that dog's problem. All right, all the worry energy and the focus and everything goes into that, when really, as a natural pet health and behavioural practitioner, you're going to be working at helping the human too, because actually there's a whole lot of stuff going on in the human as well as the animal, because the animal is actually mirroring what's going on in the human. And we'll go through that in a lot more detail tomorrow. Okay, rescue centres. Yes, as I talked a little bit about that, the full to the brim with unwanted pets. And we want to do, it's all our little bit to do everything we can to help dogs going in and out of that system. Over a third of the dogs that went through Battersea Dog Home last year were euthanised. Over a third. That was about 3,000 or 4,000 dogs just as soon as they entered the shelter, given the injection. I find that really sad, because we all love dogs, right? And they're suffering because of our ignorance. So if we can all become a little bit more educated and help our canines, we can start actually all doing our little bit to help those numbers, reduce those numbers. My job is, I get people phone me up, you know, I'm at my wit's end. If you don't sort this dog out, I'm going to rehome it. It's got to go. You know, my job is to keep that dog in that family. I don't want it going in the rescue system. It's going to disturb the dog. Might end up dead, may end up in a better family. You know, there are cases where it's just not suitable for that dog to be in that environment anymore. We will try and help find a new home. I've only had to do it 2 or 3 times, but my job is to keep that dog with that family and sort out the problems so they actually keep their dog.